A group of American Christians came to Israel this week to support farmers by helping out with the olive harvest. The olive branch does have particular significance in the Christian faith. It symbolises peace and hope. Take a listen.
Since the war began, tens of millions of dollars in agriculture have been lost and then saved by volunteers across the country. This is very important. But no one has ever done what we are doing, that is, picking olives. We know that some farmers lost 2 years' worth of crops, but they don't have staff to work, and many of them were in reserve and could not work themselves. We did more than just pick olives. We met the grandfather of twins who are still captive in Gaza. The participants prayed for him. It was very spontaneous. Everyone had tears in their eyes. And then we also did a barbecue for the soldiers.
Well, the war means that Israeli farmers have lost substantial revenues over the past year. That initiative led by Jonathan Feldstein, president of the Genesis 123 Foundation, who we just saw, and Marziyeh Amirizadeh, an Iranian-American activist who was jailed by the Iranian regime because she converted to Christianity. Marziyeh is also president of the New Persia organisation, and I'm delighted to say she is now with us in the studio. Great to see you back in Israel, Marziyeh. It's not your first visit here. We met before the war. Seems like a long time ago, but I know you have a special bond with Israel. Tell us about that.
Thank you so much for having me. As you mentioned, this is my third trip to Israel, and first trip was exciting, visiting the Holy Land, the land of my Savior, and then my friend and I came up with the idea of root and branch, how to support Israel, especially after the Hamas terrorist attack on October 7, 2023. So root and branch is an idea. It's a collaboration between Genesis 123 Foundation and my nonprofit foundation, newpersia.org. And we decided to, through this project, to bring Christians and Jews together to support Israel and Israeli people. And it's a way of building meaningful relationship between Israelis and Jewish people, and the revenue. Through that revenue, we wanted to support the communities that were impacted by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. And it's based on Romans chapter 11, verse 18, that remind us as Christians that Jews are the roots, and we as Christians are the branches. And it is always roots that supported the branches. And we brought groups of volunteers to pick olives and from trees that were 100 years old, and to emphasize on our shared biblical traditions.
Yes, that's the Judeo-Christian culture that we talk about as the basis for Western civilization, of course. It's not seen that way in your native land of Iran, where you suffered terribly for choosing to be a Christian. I just want to get your take, because you know about Iran and how they see things. This ceasefire with Hezbollah, how do you think that will be viewed by the regime in Tehran?
Honestly, I don't like the ceasefire. When I'm not a warmonger, but I know that we can't have any ceasefire with terrorists. Only we should defeat them. And I grew up in Iran, an Islamic country. I was in prison for 9 months because of my faith in Jesus. I was sentenced to death by hanging. I know the evil nature of these people, and I know that any ceasefire, any negotiation with them, it's for them is taking advantage of that to empower themselves, and definitely they are not going to stop. And we need to, I always emphasize that we need to support Israel, to stand with Israel to finish these terrorists, because Islamic Republic regime, as you know, is the head of Hamas, Hezbollah, and other terrorists, and they are not going to stop terrorist activities in the Middle East.
Just real quick then, are you encouraged then when you hear the incoming or members of the incoming Trump administration say that they know Iran is at the root of all of this and that is what needs to be tackled? Do you think there will be a stronger stance against Iran when President Trump's in the White House? My
hope is that, you know, President Trump, when he was a president, he had a good foreign policy toward Iran, maximum pressure through sanctions, and bringing the embassy to Jerusalem, and bringing peace to Middle East. My hope is that he knows the language of how to talk to terrorists. My hope is that this time they put more pressure on the Islamic Republic regime, stand with Iranian people to support them, to end this regime, because millions of Iranians are suffering because of this evil regime, and they are asking American leaders and Western politicians just not to save them, just allow us to end this evil regime. And my hope is that President Trump just put pressure on the regime and stand with the Iranian people.
Marziyeh from the New Persia Organization, great to see you again. Welcome to Israel. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.